closer. This is your morning in 8 minutes. We do want to give you a heads up this morning. The burn ban in Sevier County will lift in a little more than an hour. It comes after recent rain, higher levels of humidity. That lifts at 8 o'clock in Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, Sevierville, and Pittman Center all included. The fire chief there does say just stay fire aware as the weeks move on. And the U.S. tariffs on Mexico and Canada now being paused for a month.
But lawmakers in Nashville are discussing the potential impact on farmers. Economists say farmers and meat producers across the U.S. can't expect the new tariffs to hurt their bottom lines by billions of dollars if they stay in place. That means you could quickly see higher prices for produce and ground beef at the store. But some of the impact on farmers might not be felt until the next harvest.
Tennessee Agriculture Commissioner Charlie Hatcher appeared before the Senate Agriculture, Energy, and Natural Resources Committee this week. He says the state's closely watching the potential tariffs and discussing how to respond with other states around the country.
Meanwhile, a new UT Boyd Center study out this week shows what Tennessee business leaders and employers think. 4 in 5 business leaders say federal tax cuts and inflation control would help them more than expanded tariffs on immigration control. As for their thoughts on the overall economy, nearly 6 in 10 say they don't think a recession will happen this year. And starting next school year, students may not be able to use their phones in school.
Lawmakers passed the Tennessee ban yesterday. Now, Governor Lee has to sign it into law. Every school board, if this passes or is signed by the governor, would have to come up with its own policy on phones in class. They'll also have to set a punishment if the rules are broken. Students will only be able to use their phones in an emergency. If the governor signs it into law, it'll go effect in the fall. And several East Tennessee counties are still working to rebuild 5 months after Hurricane Helene.
We're getting a look at progress in Unicoi County, one of those areas hit the hardest. The damage still here from Hurricane Helene. The Nolichucky River ripped through businesses, churches, changing people's livelihoods. Nearly a half year's time has changed things along the river. Debris is getting cleaned up and stockpiled. However, the Unicoi County Hospital, it's still closed. Patients go to the Johnson City Medical Center for now. As for the Riverview Baptist Church on the Nolichucky, they hope to have their first Sunday service since Helene on Easter.
Meanwhile, we are in the middle of tax season, and people in 6 East Tennessee counties affected by Helene now have an extra 2 weeks to file. That includes people in Cocke, Greene, Hamblin counties. The deadline for them is May 1st. For the rest of us, still April 15th. And hundreds of Helene victims in North Carolina may have to find a new place to live today.
That's right. That's because a FEMA housing program is ending for some people. FEMA says the program provided hotel rooms to nearly 1,900 homes in the region. But some who use the program say their application for extended housing was rejected. So starting today, more than 1,200 people will be ineligible for the program. And high water is still affecting travel in some parts of western Kentucky. Kentucky
Governor Andy Beshear updating the numbers from last month's flood. He says 24 people died in the flooding and freezing cold. 22 state highways are still closed, 8 closed due to landslides. Swift water rescue teams got out and helped more than 1,000 people during the storms. Governor Beshear also announced disaster unemployment assistance will be available. And a reminder this morning, make sure you go to bed a little earlier on Saturday. Daylight saving time starts Sunday. Multiple studies have found that changing the clocks in the spring and fall does impact our productivity, mental, physical health. The U.S. Senate passed the Sunshine Protection Act in 2022, making daylight saving time permanent, but it didn't go anywhere. Arizona and Hawaii are the only 2 states that don't recognize daylight saving time.
All right, time now is 6:54. I think we can dance a little bit this morning for our morning commute. Not looking too bad out there. I-40 at Walker Springs, you're taking a live look now. East and westbound lanes up to speed at the moment. Here's another look. I-75 at Merchant Drive. That camera's freezing up on me. We're used to seeing some slowdowns in those southbound lanes. Does look like some people may be hitting the brakes there. And another look, I-40 at Hall of Fame Drive. That downtown area, east and westbound lanes still moving right along. So some good news for your Friday morning if you were headed out the door right now.
And headed out the door with that jacket on for sure. We're hanging out in those upper 20s to low 30s. Kids standing at the bus stop would definitely want a jacket, but I'd call it still a layer day. Hopefully they don't leave it at school. We will use those winds to warm things up today. So starting out around 31 degrees. Sunrise is officially a minute out, but again, a reminder that would put sunrise closer to 8 starting Sunday with the start of daylight saving time. So for now, we have a lot of clouds, so not as colorful of a sunrise this morning. 32 right now in Knoxville. Again, we've ticked up a couple of degrees as the blanket of clouds moved in. It's trying to drop a couple of flurries, but That's the only impact there. Otherwise, I'd say these temperatures are more impactful. 29 Middlesboro, 33 Wartburg to 32 in Harriman. Now for your day-to-day, when those winds start increasing late morning to midday, notice then temperatures start hopping up. 46 at 11, high today 59 degrees, 56 at 8, still 55 at 11, and that's because of those winds. Gusting up to 30 miles per hour out of the southwest, at least puts us at a nice normal high, and then really a warm night tonight at 51. Although we'll fall back into some more normal, colder nights. Both Sunday morning and Monday morning, notice are back in the 30s, and that's when those winds are calming back down for your weekend. So a lot stirring around us, kicking out those scattered showers tonight. Spotty rain Saturday night. Looking ahead to next week, though, and I know a lot of you are looking ahead to those 70s. I don't blame you. I am too. Just know that that's only stirring up because of the warm front that comes our way with scattered rain Thursday, and again, a cold front that I was just pointing out for you just beyond that first alert 8-day planner.
I didn't hear a word you said. I was just looking at Tuesday, Wednesday.
Blah,
so.
blah, blah, 70s,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
How about that? 6:56. That'll do it for us here on WVLT. Headed to the CW. Have a good Friday.